Welcome back, everyone. Well, Doneane is here to talk about food labels.
You know, we've talked a lot about labels lately, but we focused on the nutrition label that is required by the Food and Drug Administration. What we're going to talk about today are the other labels that are on the packages of food that we purchase and the lies that can be present in those labels. So there's a few things that I'm going to hit on, and I'm going to post a link to this very interesting article on my Facebook page because there's a lot more that we really won't have time to talk about today.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit a couple of the high points. First of all, the packaging on a product has nothing to do with what's inside it. It has to do with grabbing the consumer, dragging them in, and getting them to purchase the product.
Right.
And along with shelf placement and all that kind of stuff. Every major food manufacturing company has a whole division of people that research and they figure out what do we need to put on our product to make people buy it. So these are some of the things that they're not exactly true about what might be in the box that you're about to purchase.
Okay.
One of my pet peeves is natural.
Oh, yes.
Everything starts out as natural, okay?
Before we get our hands on it.
Right, and then they add all kinds of junk to it that's not necessarily natural. Now, when you see the word all natural, that's a little bit better, but then you want to look also for the USDA organic seal. And I'm going to post a picture of that on my Facebook page. It's a little round about the size of a quarter. It says USDA certified organic. If the product says all natural and it's certified organic and you see that label, you can trust that label.
Okay.
That product has been through a rigorous set of testing so that it can actually show that label.
So when it says that and has that, then it means it really is.
It really is all natural and it is organic. So if you see something that says natural, look at the list of ingredients because you're likely to find something that's not quite natural.
Now, if it's organic, is it still supposed to have that other label?
If it's certified by the USDA as organic, it will have the USDA seal on it. So not every product that says it's all natural is organic, so you have to look for that other little label.
Okay.
Another one of my pet peeves is antibiotic-free, hormone-free. Now, what happened in the cattle industry is they realized people don't want these things in their products.
Right.
So they started labeling those products that are actually hormone and antibiotic free as such. Well, then the poultry and the pork industry caught on to this and they said, hey, this is a way that we can sell more of our product. Well, guess what? The FDA doesn't let the poultry and pork industry use antibiotics and hormones. So all of their products are free of this. So that's misleading to the consumer.
So when you go and buy eggs, for example, because that's where I see that the most. That's just false advertising.
It's false advertising. They are regulated by the government to the point where they can't use hormones and antibiotics. And another pet peeve about the poultry industry, when you mention eggs, when you see the term cage-free, that doesn't necessarily mean that the chickens are roaming free like they're supposed to. What you need to look for on the marketing junk that's on the egg carton is free range. That means that they're actually out ranging in a field doing what chickens are supposed to do. Cage-free means that they're probably still in a warehouse and they're probably still cooped up with each other, but they're not held in cages. So that's another one of those misleading things.
Very interesting.
And another thing is whole grain. Whole grain, whole wheat, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is, or multigrain, I'm sorry, multigrain. Multigrain doesn't mean that it's necessarily whole grain. So that's another little label that you can look for. It's the Whole Grains Council stamp. And I'll post this on Facebook as well. It's about the size of a postage stamp, and it is, it shows that the product has been certified by the Whole Grains Council as a whole grain product. So whole wheat, multigrain doesn't necessarily mean that it's a whole grain product.
Right. It's very interesting. And we were talking earlier about cereal.
Right.
Which we were just
showing. What we were just looking at. This was something that Dan talked about on the morning show. And again, this is those marketers, you know, the people that sit behind the desk and they figure out what can we put on this box to, you know, make the kids want their parents to buy it. And cereal primarily is marketed to children.
Oh, yes, definitely.
With cartoon characters. And they even did a study about the eye contact that the character on the box makes with the kid or with the adult and if it's going to make them purchase it.
And not just that, the placement on the shelves. And you know, I never really noticed this, but next time I'm in the grocery store, I'm definitely going to look. That all the adult cereals are on the top shelves.
Right.
All the kids'
and
cereals.
And the kids' stuff is where the kids can see it.
Right.
And then the healthiest stuff is either way down on the bottom or it's way up at the top where you can't reach it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the marketers do. You know, they put the things that they want you to purchase with those pretty, you know, labeling and packaging that's not necessarily true in a place where your eye gravitates towards it, and then you're going to purchase it.
Scary.
It is.
Very scary.
It really is.
All right. Thanks, Doneane.